The 10,000 square foot studio in Los Angeles, California, hummed with anticipation, its neon lights casting a surreal glow across rows of plush seats. 500 diverse audience members, college students tapping on their phones, retirees clutching programs, and working parents whispering excitedly filled the space, their chatter blending with the faint aroma of overbrewed coffee and the buzz of camera drones. This was no ordinary night at the Lauren Brooks Show, a talk show that had climbed the ranks of American television with its provocative interviews and razor-sharp debates. Tonight, the stage was set for a spectacle, and at its center was one man, Keanu Reeves, Hollywood's most beloved icon, whose quiet strength and timeless charm had made him a household name for decades. But as the 60-year-old actor stepped into the spotlight, he was walking into a trap, one that would test his grace and redefine a cultural moment in a way America wouldn't soon forget. Keanu Reeves, with his trademark tousled hair and understated black jacket, was no stranger to the public eye. Known for iconic roles in The Matrix, where he defied gravity as Neo, and John Wick, where he embodied relentless resolve, Keanu had carved a legacy not just as an action hero, but as a man of profound humility. His off-screen life charity work, like funding children's hospitals, and stories of giving up his seat on a crowded New York subway, had earned him a rare kind of adoration, the kind that transcended fame. Yet tonight, Keanu wasn't here to bask in applause. He'd come to promote his latest passion project, a low-budget film about grief and redemption, a story so personal it had cost him $2 million of his own savings. Shot in a 50-square-mile Oregon town, the film was a tribute to his late sister, Kim, who had battled illness with quiet courage. Keanu saw it as more than a movie. It was a message of healing, a chance to share her light with the world. When the email from the Lauren Brooks Show landed in his inbox, promising a candid conversation, he'd accepted, hoping to spread that message. But what he didn't know was that Lauren Brooks had other plans. Lauren Brooks, the 38-year-old host with a megawatt smile and a reputation for cutting through Hollywood's gloss, was no ordinary interviewer. A former entertainment reporter from Seattle, she'd risen through the ranks with her knack for tackling controversial topics, from cancel culture to celebrity missteps. Her show, broadcast from a glittering L.A. studio, was a cultural juggernaut, pulling in 5 million viewers a night at its peak. But lately, those numbers had dipped down 20% in 6 months, a fact that kept Lauren awake in her 200-square-foot Hollywood Hills condo. Her producer, Evan Carter, a wiry man with a penchant for viral stunts, had laid it out bluntly. "We need a moment, Lauren. Something that'll dominate Twitter for a week." Lauren, once a journalist who chased truth, now felt the weight of network demands. She needed a controversy, a clip that would rack up 10 million views and silence the suits threatening to pull her show. And who better to target than Keanu Reeves, the wholesome star whose old-school charm seemed ripe for deconstruction. Behind the scenes, the trap was meticulously crafted. In a cramped production room, Evan scribbled on a whiteboard, mapping out questions designed to corner Keanu. His films glorify outdated narratives. Lauren rehearsed, flipping through her cue cards. Lone heroes. Violence. No vulnerability. Doesn't that clash with today's inclusive stories? The plan was simple: paint Keanu as a relic, a symbol of a Hollywood that needed to move on. The audience was curated with precision. 200 loyal Keanu fans, their John Wick t-shirts a testament to their devotion. 200 skeptics, primed by pre-show prompts to question his relevance. And 100 influencers, phones at the ready to amplify the drama. Cameras were angled to catch every flinch, every misstep. Lauren leaned against her desk, her confidence as sharp as the 90-degree summer heat outside. "He's an easy target." Evan smirked. "Everyone loves him. But that's why it'll work. We'll show America he's just another dated star." Lauren nodded. ignoring the flicker of doubt in her chest. She'd forgotten one thing: Keanu Reeves wasn't just a star. He was a legend who saw through facades. As Keanu stepped off his black motorcycle outside the studio, the 70-degree evening breeze ruffling his scarf, he sensed the undercurrent. A security guard, grinning ear to ear, muttered, "Big fan. Mr. Reeves, watch your back in there." Keanu gave a small nod. "Thanks." Man, his calm demeanor unshaken. Inside, the crew whispered, some starstruck, others skeptical. An intern spilled coffee, flustered by his presence, while Evan adjusted the lighting to soften Keanu's features, making him look like the classic Hollywood icon Lauren planned to dismantle. Keanu took his seat across from Lauren, hands crossed in his lap. His expression unreadable. The red light on the camera blinked, and Lauren's flawless smile lit up the room. "Keanu Reeves, welcome to the show," she said, her tone warm, inviting, too perfect. The audience clapped, the atmosphere electric. But beneath the surface, the tension was thicker than a freeway jam on the 405. Keanu thought he was here for a conversation, a chance to share his film's message of healing, born from his sister's courage. But Lauren had other plans: a trap to cancel a Hollywood legend, to spark a viral storm that would save her show. What she didn't know was that Keanu's quiet strength, forged through years of loss and kindness, was about to turn her game upside down. In a 10,000-square-foot arena, where every word was a weapon, Keanu was ready to hit it out of the park, not with anger, but with truth, a truth that would echo from L.A. to every corner of America. If you love stories where authenticity triumphs over manipulation, where one voice can shift a nation's heart, stick around. Tomorrow, we'll dive deeper into this clash, unpacking how Keanu's words became a movement. Share where you're reading from, and let's see how far this story travels. The Los Angeles sunset painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow over the sprawling 10,000-square-foot studio where the Lauren Brooks Show was about to go live. A 70-degree evening breeze swept through the parking lot, ruffling the jacket of Keanu Reeves as he swung off his sleek black motorcycle, its engine still humming faintly. The 60-year-old actor, his dark hair streaked with silver, adjusted his scarf and scanned the scene with the quiet awareness of someone who'd navigated Hollywood's highs and lows for decades. Tonight, he was here to talk about his latest film, a $2 million indie project shot in a 50-square-mile Oregon town, a heartfelt tribute to his late sister, Kim, whose battle with illness had taught him the power of resilience. Keanu believed in the film's message: grief, redemption, and the human spirit, and he'd poured his own savings into it, hoping the Lauren Brooks Show would amplify its reach. But as he stepped toward the studio entrance, a skeptical security guard sizing him up muttered, "Hope you're ready, man." Keanu gave a small nod. "Appreciate it," his calm demeanor masking the instinct that something was off. He was walking into an ambush, and he knew it. Inside, the studio buzzed with pre-show chaos. Stagehands darted across the 500-seat auditorium, adjusting lights that cast a soft glow on the sleek black stage. The audience, a carefully curated mix, was already seated 200 loyal Keanu fans, some sporting John Wick t-shirts, their excitement palpable. 200 skeptics, primed by pre-show prompts to question Keanu's relevance in a changing Hollywood. And 100 influencers, their phones glowing as they prepped to live tweet the drama. A 20-year-old TikToker in a neon hoodie typed furiously, her followers waiting for a viral clip. A 50-year-old nurse from San Diego clutched her purse, whispering to her friend about Keanu's kindness in a viral subway story. A retired cop, his arms crossed, nodded as Keanu's name flashed on the jumbotron, a flicker of admiration in his eyes. This diverse crowd, from L.A.'s urban sprawl to small-town America, was America's heartbeat. But tonight, they were pawns in a game designed to unravel a legend. Backstage, Lauren Brooks stood in a dimly lit production room, her manicured nails tapping against a stack of cue cards. At 38, Lauren was a force in American television, her sharp wit and polished charm drawing 5 million viewers at her peak. But with a 20% drop in viewership over 6 months, her empire was on shaky ground. Once a respected journalist from Seattle, covering stories of grit and truth, Lauren had traded her notepad for a spotlight, chasing the viral moments that defined 2025 media. Her producer, Evan Carter, a wiry 30-something with a knack for controversy, leaned over a whiteboard, sketching the night's plan. "Keanu's the perfect target," Evan said, his voice sharp as the 80-degree studio lights. "He's Mr. Nice Guy." But his films, The Matrix, John Wick, they're all about lone heroes, violence, no diversity. We'll call it toxic heroism. Make him look like he's stuck in the 90s. Lauren hesitated, a flicker of her old self surfacing. She remembered interviewing small-town heroes, not tearing down icons. But Evan's warning cut through no controversy. No contract. Go viral or go home. She nodded, swallowing her doubt, and flipped through her cue cards. Each question, a dagger aimed at Keanu's legacy. The trap was meticulous. Lauren's questions would accuse Keanu of glorifying outdated narratives, heroes who solved problems with fists and guns, ignoring the inclusive, vulnerable stories Hollywood demanded. If Keanu got defensive, stumbled, or dodged, they'd have their soundbite, a clip to dominate Twitter with hashtags like Keanu out of touch. The audience was the key: fans to create tension, skeptics to amplify doubt, and influencers to spread the fallout faster than a 100-mile-an-hour freeway chase. Cameras were positioned to catch every angle: Keanu's furrowed brow, Lauren's knowing smile. Evan adjusted the monitors, ensuring the lighting softened Keanu's features, making him look like the classic Hollywood star Lauren planned to deconstruct. "He's too nice to fight back," Evan smirked. "This'll be easier than stealing candy from a kid." Lauren forced a smile, but her stomach twisted. She'd built her career on tough questions, but this felt like a betrayal not just of Keanu, but of the journalist she used to be. Keanu, meanwhile, moved through the backstage chaos with the ease of a man who'd faced worse than studio traps. A nervous intern, barely 19, nearly dropped her clipboard as she led him to the green room. "Mr. Reeves, I loved Speed," she stammered, blushing. Keanu grinned, his eyes crinkling. "Thanks. That means a lot," as he sipped a lukewarm coffee. A fan in the hallway shouted, "John Wick rules." Keanu raised his cup in acknowledgement, his calm unshaken, but beneath the surface, he sensed the setup, the guarded looks from the crew, the overly polished stage, the curated crowd. It all felt like a script he'd read before. He thought of his sister's advice, whispered years ago during her hospital stays: "Stay true, no matter the noise." Kim had faced pain with grace, and Keanu had carried that lesson into every role, every choice. This film, his $2 million gamble, was her legacy, a story of a father's grief, shot in Oregon's quiet forests, meant to heal others as Kim had healed him. Lauren's show was his chance to share it, but he knew he'd have to fight for that chance. As the studio clock ticked down, the audience's chatter grew louder, a mix of anticipation and tension. The TikToker posted a pre-show selfie, captioning it, "Ready for Keanu to spill some tea or flop?" The nurse whispered, "I hope he talks about his charity work." The cop, his gaze steady, thought of Keanu's roles, heroes who stood for something and felt a kinship. Lauren slipped into her chair on stage, her smile as bright as the 10,000-watt lights. Evan gave a thumbs up from the control room, his plan in motion. Keanu took a final sip of coffee, set the cup down, and walked toward the stage, his boots echoing on the polished floor. The red light blinked, the cameras rolled, and the trap was set. Lauren thought she held the reins. But Keanu, with his sister's words in his heart and a lifetime of authenticity behind him, was ready to turn the tables in a way that would hit it out of the park. The 10,000-square-foot Los Angeles studio of the Lauren Brooks Show glowed under 80-degree lights, their heat amplifying the tension that crackled like static in the air. 500 audience members leaned forward in their seats, their eyes darting between the polished stage and the jumbotron overhead. Cameras zoomed in, capturing Lauren Brooks' megawatt smile, as sharp as a Beverly Hills skyline, and Keanu Reeves' relaxed posture, his hands folded calmly in his lap. The 60-year-old actor, his dark jacket blending into the sleek black set, looked every bit the Hollywood legend, Neo. John Wick, a man who'd carried audiences through decades of stories. But tonight, Keanu was here for something deeper, to share his $2 million indie film, a tribute to his late sister, Kim, a story of a father's grief, shot in Oregon's quiet forests. As the red light blinked and the show went live, Lauren's voice rang out, smooth as a 70-degree L. Breeze Keanu Reeves. Welcome to the show. The crowd erupted in applause. But beneath the cheers, a trap was springing shut. One Keanu was about to turn upside down. Lauren Brooks, her blonde hair catching the studio's glow, leaned forward in her chair, her cue cards tucked neatly beside her. She'd spent weeks crafting this moment. Her producer Evan Carter's words, "Go viral or go home," echoing in her mind. With viewership down 20%, Lauren needed a clip that would dominate America's screens. From Times Square billboards to TikTok feeds. She started softly, her tone warm, disarming, like a friend catching up over coffee. "Keanu, you've had one of the most fascinating careers in Hollywood," she said, her smile unwavering. "From Speed to The Matrix, you've done it all: action, drama, even romance. What's kept you going all these years?" Keanu tilted his head, his eyes crinkling with a familiar warmth. "I've been lucky," he said simply. "Stories connect us, and I love being part of that." The audience clapped, the 200 loyal fans cheering loudest, their John Wick t-shirts a sea of support. A 50-year-old nurse from San Diego nodded, whispering to her friend, "He's so genuine." But Lauren's smile tightened. This was the warm-up. The real strike was coming. The shift was subtle, like a cloud passing over the sun. Lauren leaned in, her voice still light but laced with an edge. "Keanu, your films often celebrate lone heroes strong, silent types who save the day. Don't they ignore today's call for inclusive, vulnerable stories?" The 200 skeptics in the audience stirred, murmuring approval, while the 100 influencers tapped their phones, sensing drama. A 20-year-old TikToker hesitated, her thumbs hovering over her screen. Keanu paused, his expression unreadable, then smiled softly. "I think stories about sacrifice and protecting others never go out of style," he said, his voice steady as a heartbeat. "My mom, raising me alone, taught me that strength is showing up for family, not chasing trends." The nurse in the crowd nodded, her eyes misty, thinking of her own long shifts. The TikToker's fingers stilled, her followers waiting for her next post. Lauren's smile flickered, but she pressed on, determined to land her viral blow. Lauren flipped a cue card, her tone sharpening like a blade. "But let's be honest, Keanu," she said, leaning closer. "Your heroes like John Wick, Neo solve problems with guns and fists. Isn't that a step back from the diverse, collaborative narratives we need today?" The skeptics clapped, their murmurs growing louder, while Evan watched from the control room, grinning. This was it, the soundbite to paint Keanu as a relic. But Keanu didn't flinch. He leaned back slightly, his smile as calm as a 70-degree sunset. "Are you saying stories about love and loss aren't diverse?" he asked, his voice gentle but pointed. "My new film's about a father grieving his kid, fighting to find hope. That's as human as it gets." The audience shifted, A ripple of surprise passing through. The retired cop in the third row, his arms crossed, let out a quiet, "Damn right." The TikToker started typing again, but now her caption read, "Keanu's got a point." Lauren's forehead glistened under the 80-degree lights, the hum of cameras amplifying her unease. Lauren wasn't done. She straightened, her voice rising with a calculated edge. "Keanu, with all due respect, your films cling to old Hollywood, a world of rugged heroes and simple fixes. Isn't it time to move on?" The skeptics cheered, sensing blood, while the fans bristled, their loyalty tested. Evan's grin widened, his monitors flashing with perfect angles, but Keanu leaned forward, his eyes locking onto Lauren's, and the room fell silent. "When I was young," he said, his voice low, deliberate, "respect was the foundation of every story. It's funny how now it's optional." The crowd gasped, a collective intake of breath. The cop clapped softly, his hands rough from years of service. The nurse's friend whispered, "He nailed it." Even the influencers paused, their phones capturing the moment. Lauren faltered, her cue cards slipping slightly in her hand, the weight of Keanu's words hitting harder than she'd expected. Keanu's calm hadn't wavered, but his words carried the force of a tidal wave, echoing America's love for underdogs who stand firm. From small-town firefighters to big-screen legends, he grinned, adding a touch of levity to cut the tension. "If believing in people is old school, I'll stay vintage." The crowd laughed, the sound rolling through the studio like a release valve. The TikToker posted the clip instantly, her 50,000 followers flooding the comments with heart emojis. Lauren forced a laugh, but it was thin, brittle, like glass about to crack. The studio's 80-degree lights seemed hotter now, her carefully curated trap unraveling. Keanu's voice, calm and clear, cut through the chaos, a reminder of his sister's advice: stay true, no matter the noise. This wasn't just an interview, it was a showdown. And Keanu was rewriting the script, hitting it out of the park with a truth that would soon light up every corner of America. As the Lauren Brooks Show cut to commercial, the 10,000 square foot Los Angeles studio erupted in a frenzy. 500 audience members whipped out phones, their screens glowing like fireflies. The TikToker's clip of Keanu Reeves's line, "When I was young, respect was the foundation of every story." It's funny how now it's optional hit X, racking up 12 million YouTube views and 600,000 retweets in 6 hours. Hashtags, respect matters, and Keanu stays true topped U.S. trends, spreading faster than a 100-mile-an-hour freeway chase. The nurse from San Diego posted, "Keanu spoke for all of us," while the retired cop shared the clip, captioning it, "Class act. America was watching." And Keanu's truth was rewriting the narrative. The online reaction was a cultural tsunami. Jimmy Kimmel, on his late-night show, mimicked Lauren Brooks' flustered face, his skit earning 3 million likes. During an NFL halftime show, the Jumbotron played Keanu's clip, with announcers calling it a playbook for grace under pressure. TikTokers launched a Respect Matters challenge, sharing stories of kindness, kids helping neighbors, teachers uplifting students, amassing 10 million views. A viral GIF of Keanu's calm smile, captioned, "When you try to cancel a legend," scored 5 million shares, flooding X and Instagram, from CNN to ESPN. The clip dominated, a testament to America's love for underdogs who hit it out of the park with authenticity. Lauren Brooks, back in her 2,000 square foot office, watched the storm unfold, her jaw tight. She posted a defensive video: "I was just asking tough questions." But the backlash was swift. 3 sponsors, including a major based coffee chain, pulled out, and her show's viewership plummeted another 15%. Evan Carter scrambled in the control room, his phone buzzing with angry network execs. "Fix this." "Lauren," he barked. But an urgent meeting email from the network loomed like a dark cloud. Lauren's empire, built on viral traps, was crumbling under the weight of her own misstep. Her calculated ambush no match for Keanu's quiet power. Keanu, meanwhile, stayed silent. Spotted browsing a 500-square-foot Venice Beach bookstore, his scarf loose in the 70-degree breeze. A reporter shoved a mic in his face. "Any comment on the Lauren controversy?" Keanu paused, then said, "Truth speaks louder than noise." The clip exploded, hitting 8 million views, spawning Dashnier Truth Speaks memes, a grinning Keanu next to captions like, "When you win without trying." His $2 million film, a tribute to his sister, got a boost. Fans crowdfunded $3 million, and a streamer picked it up, citing Keanu's authenticity. From L.A.'s palm-lined streets to small-town screens, Keanu's words lit a spark, proving respect could outshine any ambush. In the wake of Keanu Reeves's viral triumph on The Lauren Brooks Show, his words rippled across America like a stone skipped over a 100-acre lake. His call for respect, quiet yet unshakable, inspired a cultural shift. Hollywood, often swayed by trends, greenlit 50 new indie films celebrating diverse, authentic stories. From a Navajo chef's redemption to a Detroit teacher's grit, schools from Chicago's bustling streets to Miami's sunlit shores launched $200 Respect Matters programs, teaching kids to value integrity over clout. In Atlanta, a 12-year-old girl, inspired by Keanu's $2 million film about a grieving father, wrote her first script, her pencil scratching out a tale of hope. Keanu's truth, born from his sister's courage, was rewriting America's narrative, proving one voice could hit it out of the park. Lauren Brooks, however, faced a different fate. Her show, once a 5 million viewer juggernaut, crumbled after a 25% viewership drop. Sponsors fled, and the network canceled The Lauren Brooks Show with a curt email. Desperate, Lauren launched a podcast from her 200-square-foot Hollywood Hills condo. But fans rejected her, flooding X with Truth Speaks clips of Keanu's calm wisdom. In a private moment, Lauren watched his Venice Beach bookstore clip, her eyes stinging as she admitted to Evan Carter, "I underestimated him." Evan, pacing nervously, urged a public apology, but Lauren refused, her pride sealing her downfall. Once a journalist chasing truth, she'd gambled on a viral trap and lost more than ratings. She'd lost America's trust. Keanu, true to form, didn't gloat. Spotted at a community center in a 20-square-mile L.A. neighborhood, he knelt beside kids who thanked him for keeping it real. Their drawings, inspired by his film, lined the walls of the 5,000-square-foot space, a testament to his impact. A reporter caught him outside, the 70-degree breeze ruffling his scarf. "Any thoughts on the controversy?" she asked. Keanu paused, then said, "The world's loud, but respect is quiet. Speak it, and people listen." The quote, a call to action, went viral, hitting 10 million views and sparking Respect Matters murals from Seattle to Atlanta. His film, crowdfunded with $3 million from fans, landed on a streamer, its message of healing reaching millions. From a 12-year-old script to 50 new films, Keanu's legacy grew, not through noise, but through authenticity. Lauren's empire faded, a cautionary tale of hubris, while Keanu's quiet strength united a nation in a 330 million-strong America. His words, rooted in his sister's lessons, proved respect could outshine any storm, a truth as enduring as a California sunset. Keanu Reeves's quiet strength turned Lauren Brooks' calculated ambush into a cultural moment that echoed across America's 330 million hearts. On the stage of The Lauren Brooks Show, where Lauren sought to paint him as a relic, Keanu's authenticity proved unstoppable, dismantling her trap with words as steady as a 70-degree L.A. sunset. His call for respect. The world's loud, but respect is quiet. Speak it. And people listen sparked a movement. From 5,000 square foot community centers in Chicago to 50-story network towers in New York, Lauren's career crumbled, not from Keanu's attacks, but from her own missteps. Her show's cancellation and failed podcast were a testament to her hubris, a cautionary tale in a nation that values truth over clout. Keanu, without raising his voice, buried doubt. Proving respect always hits a home run. The fallout was a love letter to American resilience. From a Montana blogger sharing our Respect Matters essays to a Miami filmmaker crafting authentic stories, Keanu's truth lit a spark. His $2 million film, a tribute to his sister's courage, soared on a streamer, its message of healing reaching millions. Crowdfunded by fans who saw Keanu's heart, schools adopted his words, teaching kids to stand firm like the underdogs. America cheers for small-town coaches, big-screen heroes. The hashtag #TruthSpeaks trended from Seattle's rainy streets to Atlanta's sunlit parks, a reminder that one voice, rooted in integrity, could shift a nation's soul. Keanu's legacy wasn't just a viral clip. It was a modern American fable, celebrating the freedom to stay true in a stormy world. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Keanu rode his motorcycle down a 10-mile L.A. freeway, the 70-degree breeze weaving through his scarf. His bike roared past palm trees, a symbol of staying steady amid chaos. Carrying his words, "Respect is quiet, but it's unstoppable," to every corner of the country. In a world chasing viral fame, Keanu reminded America that true power lies in authenticity, a lesson as enduring as the open road. Lauren tried to bury a legend, but Keanu's grace outshone her noise, proving respect is the ultimate grand slam. To everyone who's followed this story, from L.A.'s bustling freeways to quiet Midwest towns, thank you for riding along. Your support fuels tales like these, where truth triumphs over traps. If Keanu's journey inspired you, hit that subscribe button. Join our community for more stories of heroes who hit it out of the park. Dropping weekly like a California sunset. Share where you're reading from. And let's keep the Respect Matters spark alive, coast to coast.